Mike Myler, and today we're going to be doing a walkthrough of the Mists of Akuma campaign setting book. So Mists of Akuma is an Eastern fantasy noir steampunk campaign setting that I publish via license with Storm Bunny Studios. It is quite a large book, topping out at 275 pages, and unlike the previous edition, which was all black and white, due to issues with the printer, we can no longer offer the black and white version, or white and black version, I don't know how you want to call it. And it is now full, well, mostly full color, I should say. Not everything is color, some of it is still sepia or black and white, where I just did not have the money to do full color, which is why it wasn't full color in the first place. So, there are two attributes that really define the setting. One is dignity, which is how good people think you are. The other is haitoku, which we don't have an English word for. It basically means fall from virtue. If you think you're the dark side of the force, that's not terribly inaccurate. If your haitoku gets too high, the Mists of Akuma come and breathing them in, which raises your haitoku, but if it's too high, it transforms you into an Adeto Oni, which we'll touch upon later. So these zombie hordes roaming around the world, and this is a continent that was recently subjugated for about 150 years and has about 10 years of peace before the Mists show up. So the Emperor, in his infinite wisdom, gets these government officials called Bengoshi. And the Bengoshi go around and deputize citizens to help them with matters of crucial importance to the state. So you play these adventurers commissioned by Bengoshi to go around Sobrin and kill Oni and deal with Hirokotiro warriors and all kinds of manner and things. We'll touch upon the adventures in a second. We detail three major cities inside of the campaign setting. This one is Nagabuki. For the upcoming Kickstarter Imperial Matchmaker, it is Sanbaoshi that we're centered on. But it's meant to be specifically for urban play. There are 24 different clans. They all have their own flags and like technology forbidden in their prefectures, and Bengoshi and Henchgoshi, and they run the gamut from, poison using ninjas to snipers to my favorite, I think, are the Karusu iron shells, which are basically like old people in little mobilized tanks with lots and lots of guns. One of the prefectures is by a backer from the original Kickstarter called Miyaki. And in Miyaki, it sort of like disappeared for a long time and only recently reappeared in the Southern Ocean. So there's a lot of suspicion about them. And they rumored that it's ruled by one of the imperial siblings that originally founded Soberin. Although, if that's true, you'll have to get the book to find out. So anyway, like I said, awesome prefectures. 4 of them are all about science. They're specifically located on the corners of the world map. So, if you're like, oh, I really like this Eastern Noir stuff you're talking about, Mike, that sounds dope, but you are not about the steampunk, take Supai, Ramono, Uso, and Usagi away, or Ragi, rather, away, and boom, you'll be in good shape. And the Silberin Primer PDF, which should be releasing any day now, has a little breakdown on, like, page by page, what to pull out of the book to remove the steampunk elements. Then, of course, there are Imperial Dragons. Forest, Sea, Sky, Sovereign, Underworld, and Void. He's definitely a piece that deserves to be in color. Ah, the Adeto Onis. And that's mostly humans and humanoids that change into Adeto Oni. Different things happen to animals, which we'll touch on in the races section. Some of these pieces I colored myself. This is drawn by Jacob Black, and I colored it. Same deal. Jacob colored that. I think you can tell when Jacob colors something and I color something, because Jacob does a much better job than I do. I wish we could have hired him to do color in the first place. Tsukumogami are also a major part of the setting. So Tsukumogami are like items that have reached their 100th birthday or been absorbed or transformed by the Mists into like they aged 100 years, and they change into monsters, which have a disposition equal to what they had in life. So if they were treated, as an animate, so if they were treated poorly, like for instance, a war machine, it generally comes out bad. But if it's like a beloved umbrella, it can be, really nice and talkative and curious. Depends on the Tsukumogami. There are custom character backgrounds as well as quick breakdown for what to do with the standard backgrounds. And then class archetypes for every single class in 5th edition D&D. Whether you're talking about bardic gun priests, or Juaishu sorcerers, ninja rogues, priest monks, tattooed monks, samurai, which we made paladins, or wujen, which we made into warlocks. There's something for everybody. And then we have races. So there are 14 unique races, and if you count the sub-races, I think it goes above 30. There are 3 types of humans: Saburi, which are the natives; Ceramians, which were one of the predominant foreigners; and then Ropeo, which were the non-predominant foreigners. Then you got your Bakemono. So if you're an insect and you like a huge swarm of rats or something, or spiders, then you become a Morai Bakemono, and you're able to change into like a small swarm of spiders. And it goes on like that. So if you're like a lesser creature and you're changed by the mists, then you come out as a Bakemono and you can't be changed again. Engine are ape folk humanoids. There are so many different kinds of Henga Yokai. There are even secret Henga Yokai. Kappa mutants, which would be from across the Great Divide. And Kroji are also from across the Great Divide, as are Steametics. Oni touched are when somebody in the womb gets changed by the Mist of Akuma. Sonorous are from across the Great Divide. They're sort of like the opposite end of the mutants. Peon folk, there's frog folk. These are Shikome. Shikome are hobgoblins. So when a carnivore dies in the Mist of Akuma, it changes into I think, cursed Shikome. And then when a herbivore dies in the Mist of Akuma, it becomes a blessed Shikome. Steametics, which are the creations of the Ceramians. Tanuki, raccoon folk. Tengu. And finally, probably my favorite, the Amiibo Waterfolk. The last of the spirit folk. Then we have a bunch of feats. There are a lot of really cool feats that range from like story-based to stuff that uses your Itoku to some throwbacks for older Eastern Fantasy D&D stuff. And then there are martial arts stances, which play a large role in the power level of this game, because you should be doing a little more damage than normal. And then we've got equipment. So you got some special armors for Eastern Fantasy. We got our own, and yeah, all the people screaming weeaboo, we have katanas. As you can see, when you use them with 2 hands, the D12, you lose the finesse. When using 1 hand, it's finesse. And it's 250 gold. So you know what? You got a problem with that, take it somewhere else. We also have Odachi. Oh my god, how dare we think that this thing is more dangerous than a regular grit? Oh, that's a 500 gold. Alchemical items, steampunk items, a couple of vehicles, augmetics, which are awesome. They raise your Itoku score when you get them, but let you do some really cool things. And then spells, which is Savannah Broadway had a lot to do with the spells. We've got some blood magic, we've got a lot of really cool kami magic. And at the very end is a part written by Christopher Rippey. It is an awesome, awesome adventure where you head to this city called Kazaki. It's an actual Japanese map. And there's a large cast of characters as you figure out what's going on and try to save 3 kidnapped children from being sacrificed. Although, well, I'm going to tell you, it's Mist of Akuma, so there isn't such a thing as a happy ending here. There is a less sad ending, but good luck if you're trying to save the day. And that is Mist of Akuma. If this interests you, please check it out. Check out the free PDFs. And if this is still the beginning of their, still during the Kickstarter, late March, early April 2018, check out the Imperial Matchmaker Kickstarter. It is our follow-up from Mist of Akuma. We want to make a huge adventure, mega adventure, and then take the adventures we already got and turn them into an adventure path. And this book has a bunch of really awesome, iconic characters to play as or use NPCs. And it has 9 free PDFs, so definitely check out check out the Kickstarter. Thank you for looking at Miss Akuma, and have a great day.